Good afternoon and welcome to Fort McMurray Matters. And with me on this segment, I've got a couple of guys known to the community as very creative people, very interesting people. A couple of guys from the Filmmakers Association, Toddske, of course, and Steve Reeve, who just also happens to be our afternoon guy here
I hang out a lot.
Mix103.7. Yeah,
yep.
I see you an awful lot more than I see Toddske, but of course I see Toddske all over the internet. Okay,
it's kind of where I live, I guess.
Yeah. Actually, there's less and less of you appearing on the internet, in a manner of speaking.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, the weight loss is going very well, I see.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Long ways to go yet, but we're getting there.
It's a good start, man.
Yeah.
Okay, you're here today to talk about something very special, near and dear to your hearts.
Film. A creative filmmaking, and this one has actually been a very fun one that Steve and I have been a part of. We're talking Cineku, and Comic Book Wednesday is the latest project that we're working on, and this has been an interesting one, eh, Steve?
Yeah, it has been. We've never, I say we never faced anything quite like this before because it is quite a challenge. Just to give some background, Cineku is it's a competition, but what they call it is a project accelerator. So what they'll do is they'll have people compete towards an end goal. This year for 2015's competition, $1 million in financing to get a budget for a feature film, and as well a guaranteed distribution in Canada in Cineplex theaters, because Cineku is sort of an offshoot of Cineplex. So,
okay, now that answers a whole pile of questions that I've had and just haven't had a chance to ask you about, because
Gotcha.
I've seen this Comic Book Wednesday all over Twitter and all over Facebook and stuff, and I go on and I try to like it or do something and I can't find, I have a hard, I'm old school, really old school, so I have a hard time sometimes with this newfangled technology that young people are using. But anyway, now you've answered my question. So this is the film itself, the Comic Book Wednesday, is not an actual film ready for viewing
Not yet.
Not yet. So
Not
you're
yet.
in competition to get funding to complete that film.
That's right. It's a concept, and that's kind of what Cineku is all about: is taking an idea and developing it, and like the meat and potatoes of the contest and the competition is weekly missions to develop your idea further to gain more support, right? Like every week, I think we're on week 8. We've been through 8 weeks of this now, and each week is something different to kind of showcase your idea to get more people to vote for you, and that's kind of the basis of what how you advance into the competition is through voting rounds.
Yeah, through eliminations. So I believe this year it all started with less than 100. 75, there you go. Projects, films all across Canada that teams are just as eager as us to see get off the ground. And through these missions and through 3 voting rounds, we've eliminated so far from the 75 down to a top 60. And then after that, it was down into a top 30, and that's where we're at currently. Comic Book Wednesday is a top 30 film in Canada. The only project out of Fort McMurray, 1 out of 2 in the top 60 from Alberta.
Wow.
The other one being down in Edmonton, a project called High School Brawl. Yeah. So this week, right now, currently, is the final elimination week where fans on the internet get to have their say and vote. And so that'll go into a top 15 of all the projects around the country. That's revealed Monday. And then it goes into the organizers' hands completely from there on.
Yeah, the Cineku will then they'll pick the top 5 out of that top 15, and then basically that top 5 team will be competing against each other for the $1 million pitch. It's actually going to be held down at the Banff World Media Festival, so it's pretty exciting stuff. We're really trying to make that final hump into the top 15, because then it's kind of out of our hands. Like, we're still going to be making content and still going to be trying to get support for the project, but once we get into that top 15, it's all about us impressing Cineku at that point.
Excellent. Well, this sounds more and more exciting the more I hear about it. I should have talked to you earlier, Steve. I think asked a few questions about it. What is the film about?
So there's something that we looked at when we contemplated jumping into the Cineku competition, and that was what we had done previously. They sort of had a mandate of it. You don't have to adhere to this, but what we're looking for is the fusion of 2 concepts and something that can have sequels, something that can be a franchise that they can ultimately make some money off of and continue into the future. So looking at that, we looked at what we had made previously as a group, and it really fell kind of into a Venn diagram of comic book superhero type things and horror type things. So we just decided there's our two concepts. Let's fuse those together and live in that middle ground. So Comic Book Wednesday is actually a horror anthology. It's in the style of Tales from the Crypt or
Creep Show.
Trick or Treat is more of a modern anthology. And you see sort of anthology storytelling in TV a lot. And things are definitely, horror is definitely really big right now for people, as well as superheroes and comic books. Clearly, they're very lucrative genres. So we fuse them together, and we've got a compilation of 5 stories, sort of 4 big grandiose tales told in sort of a more of a down-on-earth grounded one. And it all takes place in a small town, northern Canada comic book shop where everything's kind of sleepy, but nothing's quite as it actually seems. There's a mysterious collector that owns the store.
You know what? That sounds vaguely familiar to a scenario right here in Fort McMurray.
It is, yeah. I mean, write what you know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's one of the main things that we're kind of looking for is there's been a lot of, in the last few years, like everyone knows, the quote-unquote filmmakers that come up here, they're doing a lot of documentaries, and a lot of people, try to find a fictional story, or fictional, right? To try to find that storytelling of Fort McMurray and what it's all about here. So one of the angles that we were kind of looking at was, wouldn't it be really cool if we actually created something really creative and have it kind of based and housed into Fort McMurray, and we got the facilities here. Like Nerdvana is a huge supporter of what we're doing, and they're completely on board with the project, and they're as much into it involved as we all are as well. So
yeah. It's been a village of people that have just come together for the competition alone, and we can only imagine with winning that $1 million budget, the way we'd be able to bring on cast and crew from in Alberta and in Canada and really champion it as a great Canadian classic film. That's what we're really aiming to do. But we need the support is the thing, especially crucially right now. We need fan support.
Okay, just before we beg people to go to the website and vote, we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back and have more in just a moment as Fort McMurray Matters continues. Welcome back to Fort McMurray Matters. I'm Shannon McKinnon, and in the studio with me this time around, Toddske and Steve Reeve, our afternoon guy here at Mix103.7, and they're both members of the Fort McMurray Filmmakers Association, talking about their latest venture, which is a competition. So people have to go and vote in order to get you into this final round of the competition.
We're really trying to touch on people's, if we're getting excited about the Battle of Saskatchewan versus Alberta here with the Northern Kickoff, really that rivalry. What we're trying to do is say, well, there's only 2 teams from Alberta in this Siniku competition. There's us and Edmonton. There's a top 30 right now spread all over Canada. And on Monday, they're going to reveal, as the fans have voted, who the top 15 films across the nation are. So we really need to be in that top 15. So we definitely need that support.
Yeah, we need the support because we're up against teams that come from cities of millions: Toronto, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary. Now are in the millions, right? So we're from a smaller town, from a smaller community. That's why we need to rally as much support as we can.
That much harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so here's your chance to fling out that website.
Siniku.com/Comic Book Wednesday, or even better, just go comicbookwednesday.com. It'll take you right to our Siniku site, and everything is there and exactly on how to vote. You have to register with an email address. So register with an email address, confirm the email that comes in, and boom, you're in. You'll see all of our missions right from day one on the right-hand side of the page. And they kind of make it interactive where in order to gain more votes, kind of interact with the projects, comment on their videos, give some feedback on them, share them, rate them, and the more you do that, the more votes you can gain. So it's not just 1 vote per project. You can actually gain right now, I think it's 55 votes. You can put it all towards one project, or you can spread it around if you want. But the more interactions you do with each mission, the more you can vote for your project.
Okay, can people vote more than once?
They won't have a chance to vote anymore beyond Friday. So they can earn vote. They give you 5 to start with. So say you vote with 5 right now, and then you go back and you kind of rate some more, share some more, and get interactive on the site and earn some more votes. Then you can spend those later.
Okay.
But after the deadline on Friday evening, that's it for fan voting, and it's all in the organizers' hands. So we definitely need to be in that top 15. As we said a million times already.
We want that top 15.
Excellent. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm going to say congratulations in advance. You've made it this far, and good luck this weekend, and we'll be keeping our fingers crossed for you Monday, and we'll drive people to that website to vote for you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sean.
And that's Fort McMurray Matters. I'm Shauna McKinnon.